Hey there, everybody. Pete here from Comic Book Geezers. We're back in the studio. Welcome once again. My partner in crime and sidekick over here.
Hello again, comic book fans. It's me, Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic, back for another episode after a long, sequestered...
Did you miss him?
No,
we had a little holiday break here. Now here he is. You're asking for him. There he is.
Hello.
Right?
Hello again. So we're going to do female villains this time.
Yes. So bring on the femme fatale.
Yeah, I've had a lot of free time, but Pete's been busy, and the holidays and the corona thing.
Bad weather and snow and rain and
all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So
tornado watches.
All sorts of nonsense. But
crazy snow.
That's right. So we've never done an episode just specifically talking about female villains in either Marvel or DC, and there are some pretty notable ones, but it's amazing how there's not a ton of them. At least not really memorable ones. Bill's got one or two pretty obscure ones for later on.
This was kind of... I pitched the idea to Pete while I was away. And I said, let's do female villains. So he was like, yeah, okay, we'll run with that. So I'd like to start off with Catwoman. I mean, if you're going to talk about female villains, you're going to think of Cat. I think Catwoman, regardless of Marvel or DC, I think she is probably the number one female villain that will come to anybody's mind. And if you don't believe me, just walk in the streets and ask people, who's the most famous female villain? They'll probably tell you Catwoman.
But an interesting one, because she's almost kind of like an anti-hero. So she's been a full-fledged villain. She's also been one of the good guys.
She's also been Batman's girlfriend, which I was just going to get to. Yeah, Catwoman.
Yeah.
Notice the difference in the costumes.
I gotta say, I think Catwoman.
I'm talking about Catwoman.
Catwoman has changed her appearance. The DC changed her appearance, her costume, so many times.
This is 93, and this is like 1979, maybe 1980.
I personally like her better with the long hair.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that short hair kind of...
I like this one right here.
Yeah, I like that too.
She's got the sexy Catwoman thing going on there. I like the boots.
Yep. But she's good because she's really intelligent.
And she's a cat burglar. She's a thief.
She's a master
rob you
thief.
blind.
She can fight. She's got martial arts skills. She can, she's got those claws. She's very
good with the whip.
Lithe, right? Is that the word for it? So she can climb buildings and jump all over the place.
Acrobat.
And yes, and more importantly, she's in Bruce Wayne's head. And
yes.
Bruce Wayne, otherwise known as Batman, and her have had this mutual attraction for
the love-hate
decades. Yes.
Like if she wasn't a villain, they'd probably be the dynamic trio who over Robin. Yeah. She'd be number 2 and Robin could be number 3.
But she's that character that, when you think of relationships in comic book characters and comic book history, it's like if Batman / Bruce Wayne was ever to settle down permanently with anyone,
it'd be her.
It's got to be her
over that chick. Ra's al Ghul's daughter?
Oh, Talia. Yeah, I mean, that was never meant to last. But him and Selena Kyle have always had this thing for each other. And I think that, to me, that she has always been the yin to his yang. Always, it just seems. So.
She's iconic female villain. So I picked that. I think she's the number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
Number 2, I don't know what you got there.
Well, we both got some Thor villains, so here, I'll kick off with mine. So I went back to, I'm almost positive that this villain predates that one only by an issue or two, back in Journey into Mystery. So I believe that's the Enchantress, all right? And I have
this book too, and I don't remember her, but I read this so long ago. So
yeah, so that's her right there, the blonde right there. So she is... She's battling the Queen of the Norns.
And what are her evil powers?
So she's a goddess along with the Executioner, and these two as a duo were a staple of the early Thor issues. All sorts of able to do all these different hexes and things like that. She's almost like a witch god or something, like goddess or whatever. So a thorn in Thor's side, as well as the rest of Thor's buddies and what have you. But probably power-wise, not quite as powerful as Bill.
As Hela.
As Hela, goddess of death.
Yes. Another, right? A goddess. You just said a goddess of death. She's from Asgard, right? But she was exiled, right, by Odin?
Correct. And no, she is not, as they show in the film, she is not the long-lost sister of Loki and Thor. That was never the case. But very powerful villain.
As you can see here.
Yeah.
choking Thor out.
Yep.
But he won't tap out.
No. So I think if my memory serves me correct, I believe that the Enchantress and the Executioner debuted in Journey to Mystery 102, and I believe Hela's first appearance was 103. So they did Marvel did back-to-back issues in a row.
These are the only two I have with Hela. But my oldest Thor is one. Was that one to hook you?
I should have brought that up.
111 or 112.
I have that great one, which is probably a key in the 150s.
So when I went through my Thor collection, she was like the only female villain, but I forgot about the Enchantress.
Yeah.
I guess number 3, I got to go with the Black Cat, the number 1 female villain for Spider-Man that I could think of. This is her first appearance, and this one came in my subscription to Spider-Man when I was a teenager. This one's going for like $250 now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
First
She's
appearance.
a major character. It's like...
first appearance, and that's like, good grade and everything, but I was looking it up, I was like, damn, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's a good book. That's probably from 1979, 1980. I also thought of the Hulk. How could I not? So I picked Harpy, Betty Ross.
One time, right?
One hit wonder villain. Yeah, but... awesome female villain right there.
Yeah.
Tearing up the Hulk. All right.
So, this is a pretty good one. She's actually, she appeared a couple times.
I almost picked this one, too.
Yeah, I forgot all about her. So she had, her origin had something to do with the Yellow Claw, but here she is in Captain America and the Falcon 164. This is Nightshade.
Great cover.
So, yeah, great cover. This is Gil Kane and Johnny Romita cover.
Nightshade.
Yeah, so she had this ability to, like, kind of turn men into, like, werewolf creatures, which are really interesting. Monsters, yeah. And she was pretty sassy. I mean, she had a mouth on her and everything. Yeah, she was like...
She was dish it out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And they actually... they brought her character into, for those of you who watched the Luke Cage Marvel series on Netflix when it was on, they actually introduced her on this, I believe, the second season, and then they just never did anything with her after that. But would have been kind of cool to see them kind of continue on with that. But she was a pretty nasty villain.
Another Hulk villain, Moonstone.
Yep.
First appearance again, but I'm not so sure she's a super villain. But I had to show you something, so I pulled her out. Because Hulk doesn't usually fight too many females.
No, I think you can safely call her a villain.
Yeah. And she's the second Moonstone. Apparently there was some other guy named Moonstone earlier in the earlier days.
Who was in
the Avengers?
Avengers or Iron Man? One of the two.
I don't remember. Yeah. Don't have it. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sticking with the Hulk, the UFOs right up here. Here she is. Right here. Her name is Vapor. The 4 villains from the UFOs are Vapor, Vector. This is Vector. That's X-Ray, and that's Ironclad. And I've always said that they were an awesome super villain.
One of the better teams that they just didn't do enough with.
Yeah, right? And they should have had these guys go against the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and everybody else. But anyway, Vapor is a great villain.
I think for whatever reason, right around that time, they were trying to break this team, this evil team. But I think as much as I love them, I think that they were like overdoing it with the Wrecking Crew right around the same time. Like they were having the Wrecking Crew go against everybody, and they
just kept these guys with the Hulk.
Yeah, because I think this team would have been good, going against the Avengers and the Fantastic Four.
Had Nova survived, I think this would have been a great team to go against Nova.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, here's a kind of cool one and a weird one. And she doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that, but she's still like a pretty mean lady. Black Mariah from the Luke Cage books. She was kind of
like in like a Godfather figure, right?
Yeah, she was a mob boss,
yeah. Mob mama,
but almost like the female version from like Harlem of the Kingpin.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
right. Big, kind of bulky
brute strength, no superpowers, just like the Kingpin. Good analogy there.
Exactly right. And she was a tough customer, so she was a thorn in Luke Cage's side quite a bit.
But she didn't stick around long. She was only in the early issues.
Yeah, I think they brought her back briefly briefly in the Luke Cage and Iron Fist
series.
Later on, but she was in a couple issues early on. Then we didn't see her for a few years.
Now I'm really reaching.
Yeah, well,
Conan the Barbarian.
Belit.
Belit.
She was in a number of issues actually.
Yeah.
And he had the hots for her, but she was not a very good person.
But she was a little bit more intense than Red Sonja on the evil side.
Yeah.
You know? So I went with her.
My last one. And then I got some honorable mentions. But this is Titania.
No, how old? That looks like, was that book in the 90s?
This was 436. So this was probably late 80s, I think.
Oh, down here.
50 years. Okay, so 91. Okay,
wow.
So this is a 91 issue. So she actually, again, had some superpowers, but made more formidable because she was the girlfriend of the Absorbing Man. And it's funny because she's actually, they made her up to be a pretty good-looking woman. And then you look at the Absorbing Man, and Crusher Creel is not like.
And you're like, you'd say, what the hell is she
what
doing
is she
with
saying?
him?
I mean, I can understand why he's into her, but together they made a pretty formidable team. And she had the habit of she picked fights with everybody. And then when the heroes would retaliate, then the Absorbing Man would step in and be like, "Hey, you don't do that to my woman." And and we know the history between these two guys, right?
I didn't even think of her, and I was going through my Spider-Man collection, and there is one issue. I think it's in the 270s where those two go against Spider-Man. And I've shown that book off before. That's why I didn't pull it.
Yeah, I remember that. That's absolutely correct. So she is a pretty good villain that came on a little bit later on from the stuff that Bill and I normally show. So, all right, he's
ready for some obscure DC fans. Get ready, DC fans. How about Golden Glider? Yeah, how about it? This is Captain Cold, right? I think I'm saying that right. Captain Cold.
Yep.
This is his sister. And they were in the first Netflix series, I believe. I think she was in it.
Oh, you mean in the CW series?
Yeah. Well, I saw it on Netflix. Yeah,
she was. That's right. I forgot about that.
So Golden Glider gets it for me for Flash. And here's another issue. She's in a few of them in the late 70s. Yeah. I love Flash. That's great. Now, you'd never think of her, but she is a major pain in the ass to Flash. But I think I would have came up with a better name than Golden Glider. It just doesn't sound terrifying. Golden Glider!
Her costume's kind of lame, too.
Like, oh, can I take a spin?
Right, especially the costume on that one. No, they're both. Costume's pretty lame. The name is lame, the costumes, I don't know what.
She's actually sliding on looks like a sheet of ice from her brother. But, that's the only sibling evil team that I can think of.
Not many of them.
Reaching way out.
No, this one's classic.
Way obscure. You're never going to guess this one. In Superman, Peg Leg Portia. What are you hiding your face for? You embarrassed?
It's so bad. God, that's like the worst name ever.
Peg Leg Portia.
Just like a pirate.
Just like a pirate.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you got the dogs down there that breathe fire. Who wrote this?
Do you want to know?
Oh, I'm curious.
All right. I've got my shades.
I actually find some of the...
I have more treats, but go ahead. You go ahead. I'll hold the tape up.
I find some of the Superman stuff from this time period
corny.
Really corny.
But they had great covers. I like the covers.
Hold on. Let's see. So this is written by Martin Pascoe, art Kurt Swan, and Francisco Chiaramonte.
And Kurt Swan did a lot of Flash all through the 70s. He's the most dominant artist.
Yeah, the artwork is pretty good, actually. But I just, come on.
Peg Leg Portia?
Peg Leg Portia? Peg Leg
How
Penny?
about Portia
Peg
Pirate?
Penny?
How about Pirate something,
Yeah.
Patty, I'd take Patty Pirate over Peg Leg Portia. Peg Leg. So that's pretty much it for supervillains. But
can I read some honorable mentions here that I didn't get to pull here? So there were a couple, because we talked a bit about Catwoman, who is kind of like an anti-hero. I do want to make mention of Thundra, who initially was a villain and then became a hero.
Is that the one that The Thing.
She liked The Thing. She was part of the Frightful Four for a bit, as well as Medusa, who was also a part of the Frightful Four, the very, very first lineup.
But Medusa was also an Inhuman,
and
right?
then she became a good person, with the Inhumans. Yeah, so there's that. So Poison Ivy is one of the greats.
And I don't have any in my Batman collection. I already pulled her.
Yeah, so that we had to talk about Poison
Ivy. Yeah, good call there.
And Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I don't have any with her either.
Right, so gotta mention Harley Quinn. Back to Marvel, there's Mystique from the FO of the X-Men. Absolutely. How about Typhoid Mary from Daredevil? Okay, another pretty popular. Emma Frost, also from X-Men. And then last but not, Dark Phoenix.
From the X-Men. But I don't have a big X-Men collection.
We neither one of us have a big X-Men. And, most of these female villains that came much later on in the X-Men.
After we stopped.
Yeah. And then another really good one that if you watched all these Avengers films and the Thanos storyline is Nebula, who's one of Thanos' daughters. So Nebula was a big villain in like the 80s in Marvel. So those are some additional ones that we just didn't have anything to show.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about.
We wanted to get together before the Christmas holidays to tape some shows, but it just wasn't possible. But being I've been away from Peeps for so long, it's been 5 or 6 weeks since we taped before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, since we taped.
So I've been kind of busy. I was surprised when I did the Iron Man drawing that some of you guys were like positively encouraging me, and I only did it as a goof, So I had a lot of free time, so I figured, what the hell? I'd do something for holidays for all you guys. So I made another drawing of the Hulk, and I spelled it wrong, so I can't get sued. I did that on purpose. I thought, what if the Hulk had what if Santa had a midair collision with the Hulk? This is what I kind of envisioned. So they call it the Hulk that stole Christmas. Santa has a midair collision with the Hulk, and children around the world cry. Children around the world cry.
I will say the art is unmistakably you, and it looks all these artists that we talk about on this channel have a unmistakable style, and I will say you are developing an unmistakable style.
Yeah, this is suck ass if you ever.
Although I will say, all right, so I will critique this a little bit.
I hope you like that.
I will critique this a little bit. So I think
zoom in on the Santa face. I love the Santa. I'm proud of that Santa.
I don't know. It looks like a Santa face. He looks like Frosty the Snowman.
Well, he's a little intrigued. He's like, I wanted to do a second one.
He looks like Casper the.
I couldn't. I wanted to do one with the Hulk flying into like the back of the sled for the midair collision part, and then the third part, I would have did another drawing where Santa actually gives Hulk some Hostess fruit pies, for Christmas. But instead, I would have used the word like Mostess or Grossness because sticking with the misspelled words because I don't want to be no copy infringement.
You raised your prices already.
Yeah, we went up. We had a price increase, and it's number 2. The Hulk.
The Hulk.
Yes, for you guys.
Now you
asked for it.
So if you look at, hold on,
what? Yeah, go ahead, take over.
If you look at that half of the Hulk, he looks fantastic. I'm not quite sure what's going on with his gut over here. What is? It almost looks like
he's got more arm muscles on this side.
Yeah, and it almost looks like he's got a third arm that's like kind of tucked in under here. It's like, look, it's almost like right here is another arm.
Let's see, zoom in.
Just
a third arm.
In other words, if you were to take this arm out, it almost looks like what's left is he's got his other arm. He's going like this.
His other arm.
You see what I'm saying? It almost looks like he's like this.
You see that pose again?
Right? Take out this other arm.
Take this arm
out. And then look what you got left. It almost looks like he's got that arm tucked underneath.
Well, right along the pant line?
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Well, he's making a fist. And I like the way he's looking up at Santa. Like, he doesn't like him being up in the sky. But then I was like, how am I going to draw him eating Hostess fruit pies? So I was like, I'll just move on to something else.
I like the fact you didn't give him like this wonderful hairstyle like some of these Marvel artists.
Oh, yeah. I kept it like Frankenstein flat top, But this is the first time you'll notice the imperfections in the toes down here.
Yeah.
It's like it's not level.
Yeah, keep working at it.
So I had fun with this one, guys. So I hope you liked it. Merry Christmas.
Everybody, who do you want to see Bill draw next? So he's already tackled Iron Man and the Hulk. So I think Spider-Man is, or maybe Silver Surfer, or Thor. You never know. You never see what you started now. So you're gonna have to do this every couple episodes.
You guys, I told you guys. One guy, I told him to bite his tongue. He was going to create a monster. So
there you have it.
Thanks, guys.
You got what you wish for.
So yeah, maybe I'll go back to the drawing board. You'll never know. It's up to me. So
I think that's got to go up in its spot up behind us then.
And I ripped the Iron Man one. I ripped the corner.
It just went down in value.
Well,
now.
yeah, but I taped it, so
Right.
that's why it's not hanging up. Maybe we'll have to put this one up next time.
Yeah.
But anyway, hope you liked that, guys. Hope you got a laugh out of that gang. I'm Wild Bill saying it's good to be back. Nice to see you guys again. As always, thank you for your comments. Please click the like button if you like this video. And don't forget to tell your friends so they can subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be kept in the loop every time we crank out a video.
That's right.
Thank you again for all your comments and hope you had a great holiday. Wishing you a Happy New Year in advance.
That's right. Tomorrow's New Year's, so Happy New Year's, everybody. And we'll see you guys on the flip side, all right?
All right, man. Be good. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.